as well. But in this next topic, it seems like there's a lot of competition coming out, as you probably know, and there's a lot of electric vehicles that are coming to the plate and giving Tesla potentially a run for their money. So there's certainly a lot of electric vehicles that could be competitive, could be not. But of course, before we get into this, it seems like Volkswagen and maybe even Mercedes has outsold Tesla in a different markets and a couple different time frames. So we'll take a look at it. But before we get into that, I do want to preface we are a Tesla fan channel. We've had the Model 3, the Model Y, S, and X. But at the end of the day, just like most of you, we got to do what's good for our wallet. And if there are other vehicles that could be more compelling, a better monthly deal, maybe even with free charging, that's just something we cannot ignore at the end of the day. So we'll get into it. But it seems like Volkswagen and Mercedes have outsold Tesla. But so we'll get into it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Facts Chaser on Twitter. Left the all-electric Volkswagen ID.5, which is of course a Volkswagen electric vehicle. Quote, in April, Volkswagen handily outsold the Tesla Model Y in Germany, Europe's biggest and most important car market. Of course, Volkswagen is a German brand, and so maybe they're based out of there and sells out of there. But it's very interesting to see that in the April timeframe, Volkswagen was able to handily pull that off and sell more vehicles than the Model Y. On the right side, we've got the Mercedes EQA Electric, which I believe is some sort of it's not like a sedan. I think it's like a little mini sedan, like a A series of some sort, but it's kind of like a hatchback. It looks pretty cool, actually. Maybe not as nice as the EQB or maybe even smaller than an EQB because EQB is in the American market, that's for sure. But on the right, the Mercedes EQA Electric, it outsold the Tesla Model 3 in Germany for April. Of course, this is only a small data set, only a little bit. Oh, whoops. This is only a small data set, a small April timeframe for the outselling of the Model 3 and the Model Y by the Volkswagen ID 5 and the EQA. But of course, some people are combating back to this and asking where are the numbers. And of course, James Stephenson posted this. And for the year to date, Tesla is still crushing the competition. But the one thing that's pretty interesting, and the one thing that James pointed out with here and circled through all the different boxes, Tesla, of course, is one big, massive brand combined together. But you can see Volkswagen has a lot of different sub-brands underneath that. And so you can see we've got Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, and if you add up all these numbers, you do get pretty close, or maybe even higher than Tesla's numbers of vehicles at the end of the day. And then taking a look at some of the models, Tesla Model Y sold 17.5 a year to date. And if you add up all the different variations of brands that Volkswagen owns underneath it, it does get pretty interesting and also pushes Tesla to show that a lot of these other electric vehicle brands are getting very close to Tesla's share and maybe even chipping away. But the good thing is probably at the end of the day, EVs as a whole is pushing and gaining more market share. And that's good for all of us because as we get out of our first Teslas or get into our new Teslas, we want a more infrastructure built up and a lot of different features, which is good for us. More competition breeds more better prices for us and better monthly payments. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Will you buy another different type of EV electric vehicle? I've certainly danced with the idea, but it's hard to leave Tesla's technology at the end of the day as because it's very intuitive in terms of like the screen, the usage, and anything like that. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the next topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you support the channel, so definitely check it out if you're interested.